Hi, everyone, and welcome to another week of the Holistic Health Hub. And welcome to my amazing panel. We have Sally, Sean, and Harry. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, Megs. Good, thanks.
Good.
Hi.
Hi.
And for the first day today, we had some warm sunshine. Yes. It was
Woohoo!
about 8 degrees. Anyway, who should we start with today? Let's start with Shauna. Shauna, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi there, I'm Shauna Daru. I'm a naturopathic doctor in Toronto in Canada. Over to you, Sally.
Hey, I'm Sally, holistically fit specialist based in Melbourne. And over to you, Harry.
And I'm Harry, the learning difficulty expert in Canberra, down under once again.
And I'm Maggie, a registered holistic nutritionist. And so this week we are going to be talking about, now I have a lot of things rattling around in my head because every time we do the Health Hub, we always have sort of about 15, 20 minutes of preemptive, like we talk about it beforehand and we talk about a lot. So I'm going to let somebody else introduce it because I have something in my mind that I'm sure the topic isn't on. So
we agreed to talk about sleep today. And sleep is really important for me because if I don't sleep well, I get up feeling stupid and tired and slow. And I see many, many clients, like my clients are mums, and they're often stressed and they're very often tired. So sleep and lack of it in mums and kids is much more common than I would like to see. It's really important.
And it lasts for years as well, right? It's not just the baby years, it's the toddler years and then the teenage years. And it doesn't seem to ever really, does it ever really stop?
Some people can't stop their heads.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a washing machine.
Yeah. Your ear is always open for a sound or a door or something.
I was going to say, just even in the gym with my clients, we can't get the full value out of a workout when they're tired. They just don't have the energy for really putting into it. So we have to cut it back a bit. And, you know, it's a bit of a struggle there because they're wanting to get the most out of their workout, but you just can't push the body when it's just not energized enough, when it's just exhausted, total exhaustion. And it's about quality of sleep too. You might have 10 hours, but what sort of quality of sleep is it? I mean, you know, that's why I got rid of my Fitbit, because in the end it was telling me I was having 3 hours sleep a night, and it was actually doing my head in, because then every day I'd go, oh, have I had any more than last night? And, you know,
a friend of mine did that, actually. Barbie did that. She said, you may have felt that you had a great sleep, but as soon as you see that you haven't had a good night's sleep, psychologically, you feel more tired. But I'm still, I guess, in the honeymoon phase where I feel tired and want to know how much sleep I haven't had, which is a little backwards, probably. But we were just talking before, and for me, because I work with Australians, and your time change just did a huge shift with hours. Whereas before we would do meetings at sort of 6 o'clock at night, our time, it's now 8 o'clock at night, our time, and they go later. So I'm finding that adjustment really hard, seeing as we're not in summer yet. So, you know, it gets dark around, what time would you say, Sean? Like 7:30?
7:38. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if it was lighter later, I think that might be better for me, you know, with my circadian rhythms than it being dark outside and I'm still working.
But jet lag's another thing that sort of throws you. So it's something that you can't really measure with, I mean, you can, how much sleep you had, but then that just brings up that whole quality of sleep, and, you know, it can take you a couple of days to get over it. And what is it, the hormones that are secreted, Shauna, that you need in your sleep?
Melatonin.
Melatonin, yeah. And that throws it all around. And, you know, you're groggy for a couple of days. And, you know, you were just talking about young kids, Megs, and it's just like that, in that surreal bubble, you're just not really there. you're not really connected with yourself. You're going through the routine of whatever you've got to do. I know I used to get in the car when the kids were little and drive for half an hour and think, oh, where am I going? Like I'm in just in this bubble. And then my car would automatically just drive to the gym whenever I forgot where I was going.
So you're on autopilot.
Yeah.
So, now I know, Harry, you have some techniques for getting really good sleep. What are your techniques?
One is get all your screens out of the bedroom. The bedroom is for two things: sleep and you know what?
No, mine is just sleep right now.
Yeah, well, that's good. Make sure your curtains seal so you have darkness. If you don't have enough melatonin in the US, North America, you can buy it without a prescription. If you live down under, you have to import it for personal use. So you can get it either way. Unfortunately, down under, it's under prescription, but you can import it for personal use. Get the devices out of the bedroom. Make sure you stop watching screens an hour or two before bed. Make sure you have some daily exercise. In my case, it's a walk. In Sally's case, it's going to the gym and doing some extreme stuff, or much more than that.
But I think, Harry, what you say, it's really important for that wind down time. Dim the lights. I think it's from 9:30. It's recommended 9:30 at night. Have a dim lighting so that you can wind down into, by the time you get into bed, you're relaxed. You're not highly wired from getting off computer games or whatever, or watching a really deep show that might be a bit violent, traumatic or whatever. Just having that step down time.
If you have, a partner, you could always put candles on. It's very romantic, and you've got that candlelight. And one other thing that I've been researching is the...
No. I mean, most candles are made of petrochemicals and they'll pollute indoors.
Well, so not the ones that we have.
Beeswax candles, okay, but mostly, be careful.
Well, I say that. However, we have those ones that are run by battery with the little flickering light.
Okay.
Those kind of things.
Yeah.
But there's another study that says that, so if you're the type of person who, I'm this one, who gets ready for bed, so puts your PJs on, your bathrobe, whatever it is, to then go sit and watch TV, watch Netflix, whatever it is, that's sort of sending the wrong signal to your brain, because the signal is, I'm ready for bed, but I'm not going to bed. It's going to be another half hour or hour. Whereas if you wear your daytime clothes right up until you're going to bed, you go to the bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, whatever it is, and then you get changed for bed, that's when your brain says, okay, now I'm ready for sleep. That was quite interesting. Because psychologically, you change for bed and you're going to bed, rather than I'm going to get comfy in my comfy clothes and I'm going to sit and do whatever it is. So really your mind's like, well, are you going to bed, or like what's going on?
Hey, Shauna, what are your thoughts on if you're having a restless night, and is it better to stay in bed and try and get back to sleep, or to actually go and do something? Like, I know my sister, she'll just watch a couple of episodes of Netflix because she said, I'm not going to fight this. I should be sleeping. I'm just going to distract myself until I get tired again. Any thoughts on that one?
I mean, it depends. So if you're just getting frustrated and getting more anxious, then staying in bed's not the best thing to do. But I don't think looking at a screen is the best choice either, though. I mean, a good option might be to turn on a small light and read a book, or, to leave the bed, go sit on the couch and do something different. I mean, I always look at sleep through a hormonal lens, because that's what I do all day. And, looking at the cortisol, the stress hormones, and looking at the melatonin production and blood sugar regulation. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of people who wake up in the middle of the night because they get blood sugar drops in the night. And it has to do with their blood sugar regulation, usually insulin resistance, where if they've eaten too many carbohydrate foods late in the day, they are wide awake at 2 a.m. And their body doesn't register hungry, it just registers awake. Alcohol use is a huge one, where people often use it to fall asleep, but then wake up in the night as the blood alcohol levels go down. But I mean, I agree with all of you, though, that the sleep hygiene is the most important. So the screens in the bedroom and the darkness and winding down, before we even start troubleshooting deeper.
Mm. Cool.
It's amazing how hard it is for some families just to do that. Oh, I can't take that smartphone off the bedside or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my first recommendation to clients is you have to get that phone out of your bedroom.
Yeah.
Buy an alarm clock. We went for years without having phones in our bedroom. You don't need it as an alarm clock, but they're just so attached to it. They've got to have it right by their heads.
Mm. And if it's not on airline mode, it's doing stuff to the brain.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Really concerned about that.
There's lots of great things that we can suggest for getting to sleep, but and it's also finding the root cause. Why are you not able to fall asleep, B, stay asleep, or C, wake up feeling refreshed? That's what you need to get down to, is a root cause, in order to build up a strategy to deal with, or to work along your path to wellness, to finding out what caused it in the first place, or what's causing it that you're not dealing with. And it could be something that takes you a while to figure out, because are we being honest with ourselves most of the time? Do we really say, okay, well, that I actually do that? And most of the time we're like, no, I don't do that at all. But fine, well that you do it, but you're lying to everybody else and you're lying to yourself. Whereas if you were honest and say, no, that's what I do, and I know it's not healthy, and I know I have to stop doing that. But we medicate with various things, and we don't value sleep. We don't think that it's something that is this really, really valuable tool that can help us make the most out of our day, because we just think it's something that nothing happens when we go to sleep. We just think we lay down, close our eyes, and nothing happens. We don't think about all the toxins that are being released from the body and the brain, and how the body's repairing itself, because we don't see it, we don't feel it. So that's what I found from a lot of clients, is that they just don't value sleep. They'll sleep when they can, and they get what they get.
Shauna, is it recommended sort of 7 to 8 hours, would you say? Everybody's body is different, but
yeah, that's the thing.
We aim for sort of 7 to 8 hours. Good quality.
I usually say 7 as a minimum. Some people really do need 9, though, to be rested. So, and I don't think that's unusual. I just think we, as a culture, don't give ourselves the luxury of sleeping as long as we need to. I've been seeing a big trend lately with the alarm clocks that the light comes on in the room. People who have trouble getting up in the morning feeling really groggy are doing great with those. So that's sometimes another way of helping, shift your sleeping and waking rhythms as well. But yeah, I agree. People don't value sleep. It's, pretty routine when I'm talking with people through the day that they're getting like 6.5 hours of sleep a night, and it's not enough for anyone on an ongoing basis. Yeah. Your body goes into full on stress mode, your blood sugar and your insulin levels go up, and you're activating a stress response all day to just get through the day with that little sleep.
So, if you can take a nana nap, they're quite good for people that can do it. I can't do it, but I know one client can fall asleep within a minute and just completely chill out, and do 15-minute power naps. I know my trainer does that, and it keeps him going. I can't turn off for 15 minutes and get into that zone. Can you guys do it? I find that very difficult.
Only when I'm in an osteopathic treatment, then I can fall asleep.
What I've been doing lately is I've been taking myself away, laying on my bed, and I have a friend of mine gave me a pyramid, like a crystal pyramid. So I sort of put that on my third eye and just.
Oh, I thought it was just me. Megs, can you hear?
We lost you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Better.
Yeah. I turned mute on my.
Oops.
Oh, right. I'm the big boy.
You cut out with the third eye, with the pyramid on your third eye.
Oh, so yeah. So what I would do is I would lay down, and if I happened to fall asleep, I would fall asleep. Otherwise, I would go into a meditation. And if I can do that once a day, I find that really helps. And just sort of the coolness of the crystal and the focus, you know, in my third eye, it really helps. Yeah.
It was interesting. We were talking before about how we sleep. Like, you like to be cold, Mags, and I like to be warm. And I was reading last year some research on weighted blankets that, you know, the heavier the blankets, the better quality sleep you can get. But it's interesting that you go the other way and you like to be cold. Like, I like to have one leg out, but I still like that heaviness.
I think I would like the weighted blanket. I think that would be quite comforting. But yeah, if my feet are hot, forget it. I'm not sleeping at all.
But the weighted blanket is really useful for people who have underactive deep pressure receptors. So often kids in the spectrum need benefit from weighted clothes and weighted blankets. So I had a kid yesterday who hates light touch but loves the bear hugs.
Right.
So that's a little boy that'll benefit from a weighted blanket and sleep better. Yeah. Whereas I like to be warm like Sally, but I don't like heavy blankets. So for me, it's the doona because it's light and warm.
Yeah, I remember in the summer, like I'd have to go and like in the sink, have some like ice water, put my feet in there until they were like numb, and then I could go to bed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't know what that is.
Well, that sounds like torture.
Oh,
yeah,
even thinking about it now, I'm like, ooh, I should do that. It really gets me to sleep.
That's so interesting. I reckon you could maybe see a naturopath and get re-regulated for your heat distribution.
Has that just been a menopausal thing? Sorry, is that a menopausal
it's always been that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, if my feet are cold, I could sleep as soon as they're hot, which is why, you know, it's sleeping in hotels is not something I relish because usually it's warm. So, you know, it's not like at home where you can leave the window open and it's ice cold or something. So usually I don't get a lot of sleep in hotel rooms, but yeah, an ice cold foot bath. If I could keep my feet in a foot bath overnight and sleep, that would be perfect.
Oh. What about shift workers with their sleep? Because I know
terrible.
Yeah, and it ruins them for life. Like I know my nan, she used to do shift work as a nurse, and her sleep was all over the place. It's awful. It's one of the toughest gigs. Would have to be shift work, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah. And, you know, the research I've done is that if you could do 2 months of shift work and 10 months off, that would be acceptable. But of course, nobody can do that, right? They've got to bounce around all over the place, but that's sort of the only way that the body would be able to even start to regulate itself again. It's sort of this 2 months off, 10 months, 2 months on, 10 months off situation.
Another one that would be tough is pilots and flight stewards, and you know, time changes as well as that would be really hard.
Yeah, it makes you old before your time for sure.
Yeah, yep. And your hormones.
Who's been a hostess here? Anyone? Any one of you?
No. I know plenty.
I'm sure you do.
I think for here as well, I think you'd have to speak fluent French, wouldn't you, Shauna?
Yeah, you would. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I treat a lot of, you know, pilots and flight attendants, and hormones are all over the place with that schedule. And there's definitely a link with reduced fertility as well because of the radiation exposure from increased flying. So their reproductive systems age prematurely.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. So egg quality goes down significantly younger. And I do think it has an impact on male fertility as well if they're waiting until they're older to try to have babies too.
So for that reason, I always try and fly at night, not during the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Because of your fertility?
Because of the radiation. Because of the radiation. My fertility's fine. Not that I've tested it recently. Thank you.
Well, you just let it went on, and I was like, you mean fertility?
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I guess flying at night is like if you would go for a long haul flight, right? Living where you live. So that
Not if we're going to Bali. That's okay.
True. How far
or
is
New
that?
Zealand.
4 hours or something?
Or 6 hours.
Yeah. 6 hours. Yeah.
6
Fiji,
hours would
5
take us
hours.
to BC.
Yes.
Not quite the same.
No.
All right, I think that's a perfect ending to our panel this week. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thoroughly enjoyed it again, and I'm sure our listeners have picked up some gems from this panel. So if you guys would subscribe to our channel, that would be amazing. More people can see it. Please leave us a comment. If you have any comments about your sleep or you want to ask us some questions, please leave them below. And like us on Facebook. That would be amazing. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.